Arrol Johnston Car Factory, Heathhall, Edinburgh Road, Dumfries. Arrol Johnston's first purpose-built factory is on the east side of the A701 main road, heading north out of Dumfries. The factory is a listed building and is still to be seen, although the canteen and welfare facilities, which were on the opposite side of the road, have now gone. The Arrol Johnston previous factory in Paisley was an old, dilapidated textile mill, dark and impossible to modernise. Sir Thomas Pullinger travelled to America to meet Henry Ford and see his famous purpose-built factories in Highland Park, Michigan. These factories made maximum use of daylight and were built out of the new technology of reinforced concrete. Thomas Pullinger got Henry Ford to introduce him to his architect, Albert Kahn, and Pullinger negotiated a license agreement so that he could get a similar factory built for Arrol Johnston's. He chose Dumfries in the southwest of Scotland because it had good road and rail links for bringing in materials and exporting finished cars. Also, it was an area where the powerful trades unions of Clydeside Engineering Works in the English Midlands did not operate. Thomas Pullinger disliked trade unions on principle, and his daughter Dorothy agreed with him that if the workers are given reasonable pay and good working conditions, they would not want a union. The factory was built on the daylight system, with narrow floors lit by massive windows, and is in the Heathhall area on the main road into Dumfries. It opened in July 1913, still making somewhat old-fashioned Arrol Johnston cars. In 1914, Dorothy used her experience in the factory to make an application to join the Institution of Automobile Engineers, but was refused on the grounds that their rules on a person being allowed to join only applied to men. When the First World War broke out, Arrol Johnston's factory switched from manufacturing automobiles to producing aero engines and aircraft for the Ministry of Munitions. Aircraft in those days were made by stretching fabric over a wooden frame and protecting the fabric with multiple layers of a kind of varnish called dope. This was highly toxic, and sadly in 1915 a young girl at the factory died from inhaling the fumes. This girl, Christina Caldo's name, has recently been added to the Scottish National War Memorial to honour her sacrifice in the war work. In 1916, Dorothy herself was recruited to go and do war work at Vickers Munitions Plant in Barrow-in-Furness, Cumbria, and she would not return to Arrol Johnston's until 1919. The factory is currently vacant and partly derelict and is being considered for redevelopment. Various industries have come and gone, including Hunters, the maker of upmarket Wellington boots, and also Interfloor. It is not safe to enter, so please do not trespass on the site.